Well, hello everybody and welcome back. It's David here from Tarot Avenue. It's been a long time since I've done one of these videos, but I thought it's way overdue and time for us to do another tarot spread demonstration. I always feel that these are a good way of giving you inspiration of new tarot spreads, but also just to see my style of reading. And I encourage you to explore your own style and find your own style, but when I was learning, I always find it useful seeing other people read just to pick up on kind of what they were seeing, how they were interpreting the cards, and what stories they were finding within the cards. So that's the whole point of doing these videos for you. I hope you enjoy them. And if you do, subscribe to the channel, and always a rate and review is always very much appreciated. All right, so this week we're going to be looking at a spread from a fantastic book. It is Sasha Graham's 365 Tarot Spreads. So it's a really good book. It has a tarot spread for every single day, and they're sometimes based on the particular day if it's a holiday. But usually they reference some day in history, or there's some reference as to why that spread has been developed. So an awful lot of work has gone into it, and they're really good tarot spreads as well, and nice explanations. And what I particularly love about this one, because this one is called the Justice Tarot Spread, and what I love about this is it really breaks down all the symbols within that Justice card as well. So you're getting a deeper understanding of that card, but we're breaking it down, and you're seeing the different, and there's a spread has been developed as representing all the different symbols within that card. So let me get stuck into it, and it will start to make more sense to you. So you'll see the layout there. We start with the card number 1 is the double-edged sword. How can I see clearly? So that's a double-edged sword that is in the Justice card. Then we go around to the scales. Are my actions balanced? Balance, of course, very important in tarot and in life, really. I feel like almost every reading that I do has some reference to balance in it, and it's something that we all struggle with, but I mean, that's all part of life, trying to improve ourselves and make ourselves better. Then we get through to the hanging veil. What is hidden? Of course, we have the hanging veil in a few other cards as well. You might you might recognize it from the High Priestess there. Then we go to the crown. What authority do I possess? Then card number 5 is the throne. Do I feel secure? Card number 6, the foot pointing out. So the little foot with the yellow slipper that's pointing out there. How can I move in the right direction? Then card number 7 is the lack of blindfold, because usually when we think of the Justice card, Justice symbol actually, you would see Justice would usually have a blindfold on because Justice is blind. So the lack of blindfold is what do I see? And then we get the yellow and gold colours that are overall in the card, and what action do I take? All right, so I'm going to show you the cards that I have drawn for this, and then we will start to go through one at a time and start to get an idea of this spread. Okay, so here we go. We start with card number 1, the double-edged sword. How can I see clearly? And for me, this is a really clear card. We've got the 5 of Cups there. And if you look at the character in the card, just solely focused on those spilt cups. So ignoring all those cups that are full right directly behind him, and just focusing on what has been lost. So how can I see clearly? I think it's just time to, get your head up. Have a look around you. I think a great example, if this reading were for me or for one of my clients, I'd be like, I think it's time to really work on that kind of gratitude. Have a think about the things in your life that you're grateful for, because it is a practice and we need to practice it to get better at it. But once we start to really think about what am I grateful for, it's amazing how you switch your mindset and you start to really kind of see much more clearly all the gifts that you have available to you. So easy to get stuck in that negative space of, I don't have that, so and so has that, I wish I had that, I wish I had this. And it's just so tempting. It's there all the time. But if we can get into it, I'm so grateful for having this. I'm so grateful for having that, you know. And it can be little things. It can be having a beautiful day outside. It can be spotting a flower in your garden, you know, like whatever works for you. So, how can I say more clearly? Get your head up, start looking at the gratitude, and start thinking about what it is that you have in your life that is worth celebrating. Then we get through to card number 2, the scales. Are my actions balanced? And I would say from this, it's a no. So when I see this card, when it's upright, I always feel that the ship has left the harbour. We're onto smoother waters. We're moving out of those choppy waters, and it's time. We've got protection around us, and somebody's guiding us. But when we're talking about are we balanced, I'm looking at that ship there or boat. You know, there's a real choppy water on one side and the smooth water on the other. So that suggests to me that there's a lack of balance. Now, usually I would see us like sailing away from that choppy water if it were upright, but with it being reversed, I feel like it's just making things a little bit more unbalanced. So I feel like the actions are unbalanced. And then if I were to look at, well, what would I need to do to balance? For me, with this card, there's often a reference to surrender. It's about just let yourself be guided by the universe, by somebody else, by a mentor, by whoever, you know. But there is an element of surrender here. And I feel once you can kind of stop pushing against the grain, you'll be amazed at how the balance can come back to your life. So then we get through to card number 3, and we have the hanging veil. What is hidden? And I feel we've got that Ace of Wands reversed. So there's this brand new opportunity waiting for you that's going to really ignite that spark in your belly. You know, there's a fire that's going to come from this. Tremendous growth opportunity. Look at the leaves growing on that, but it needs to be grounded, you know. So I feel like there's a reason it's hidden, you know. It's this Ace of Wands with it being reversed. It feels like it's not quite been revealed to you yet. I think there's the beginnings of this idea, beginnings of something wonderful coming, but it's not fully realized. But I would also say you don't need to panic about that, because there's a good reason for that. You know, it's going to come in time. It's hidden because it might be, I'm trying to think of an example, but if it was something that was really kind of given to you right away, you might just do the wrong thing with it, rush into it. So I feel like it's going to be a bit more of a slow burn, but when it comes, it's going to be fabulous. And then we get to card number 4, the crown. What authority do I possess? And we've got the 3 of Cups there reversed. Now, this says to me that you're stronger together. In terms of the authority, I think that the authority you possess, you work really well collaboratively. You know, I don't think you're a dictator type. And this is all hypothetical, as if I were reading for somebody. So it feels to me like this is more a collaboration, but you also need to accept that about yourself as well. It's not about kind of trying to be the boss and trying to rule with an iron fist. It's about taking everybody's ideas and working together and making everybody feel valued. And that's where the real authority comes. There's this strength in numbers and strength in the union, and a real cohesion here. And then we get through to the throne. Do I feel secure? And I would say yes, absolutely. We've got the King of Cups here, who is sitting on this fabulous throne. So he looks very secure, even though he's got all this water around him, you know, and all this, it looks like kind of turmoil beneath him, but he is very secure in himself. But also the cups are representing that there's a strength there, but also there's an emotion, and there's a sense of leading from the heart as well. And it's interesting to me that it's looking against this 3 of Cups as well. So it's saying that you can be a leader, but you can still lead from the heart. And so it's important to take that lesson from the cups when you're trying to gain authority and trying to kind of feel secure. It's like you can still do it without changing your values or without hurting anybody else or putting anybody else down. Then we get through to card number 6, the foot pointing out. How do I move in the right direction? So for me, this is all about bringing back the balance. So we'll get the star there who's, they're putting water into the lake and also putting water onto the land. There's a tremendous balance with this card. There's a healing, there's a sense of nourishment and a real kind of freshness and free feeling with this card. So how would you move in the right direction? I think it's about healing the old wounds. I think there's definitely this element going back to that 6 of Swords reverse. Definitely this element of surrender as well. Once you start to learn that lesson about going where the universe is taking you, I think all of a sudden there's going to be this sense of freedom and healing and feeling that you're in the right place and doing the right thing. The lack of blindfold, what do I see? The Chariot. So we see that there is a very clear path ahead. The Chariot's all about moving forward. So we've learned the lessons of surrender. We've learned the lessons of the star and that 6 of Swords. And now the path has all of a sudden become clear. And we feel, we're feeling secure, we're feeling strong, and we're feeling like we can win and start to move forward. So the yellow and gold colors, what action do I take? So the Page of Pentacles. So for me, this is about kind of, when I see this card reversed, I quite often feel like it's a need to take a step backward to go forward. So you feel that the Page of Pentacles, and it might be that you're taking a pay cut to secure this dream job. Maybe you're releasing, moving to a smaller house or something like that, but it enables you to do what you really want to do with your life. Usually something kind of material. There can be, the Page of Pentacles can also represent like university students, so it can be like a learning opportunity there for you as well. But just with that reversal, I feel like that there's a little bit of feeling of moving backwards to go forwards. So there we have it, the overall spread. So I think there's some really nice overall lessons in that reading. But I hope what it's given you as well is a clearer understanding of all the symbols within the Justice card. When you start to break it down, it's really quite interesting. And why don't you try this for another card? For example, the Chariot. Why don't you kind of pick that card and develop a spread yourself from there? So if you do that, post in the comments again, because I'd love to hear what you're doing and hear what you're developing. But I wish you all the best. And if you want to see more tarot spreads, just head over to tarotavenue.com and you will see everything there. So I will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.